Yo, you're not your phone, man. I'll call Bazaba, you know, Jumedi, I had to borrow your CC as a Bawaquim. I had to Nizin, no quart win Chumedi. No quart win Chumedi. Also, na ende Ezra Bawaquim. Send any that was the kind of Russia, no call you Jumedi, war Ghana Ban News YouTuber. And who Brasmaria to Yastre, they subscribe to or yeah, the YouTube channel, and I can or Facebook channel, no that like the page in it. Monya yana kase nyewa adwenkyerɛ fa nkɔmɔ a yɛredi ehu ne da minti twerɛ to comment section ne ebetu me click adamando ama bibiara a yɛredi dwuma ne wetu abɔ nke na wo so ababaka ho kaide former president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo no toto Ghana for day mama yenye bɔhwɛadze for dem yenye timamofo ne da minti kanokɔrwi dwumedi hu ma yenye timamofo. You are welcome to a show that the bitter truth. The bitter truth. If today is the first time that you are watching this show, the bitter truth show on Ghana Ban News YouTube channel, we are humbly pleading with you to kindly subscribe to the YouTube channel, or if you are watching us on a Facebook channel, kindly like the page. Most importantly for us is your views, your opinion, your suggestions. So kindly drop them in the comment section. Let's hear from you. You will recall that prior to the 2024 general election, one of the topical issues in the country has to do with legalization of LGBTQ activities in the country. The current president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, strongly campaigned with this particular LGBTQI issue and made a pledge to the good people of this country, and especially the religious bodies, the Christendom, that when he is voted to power, he will ensure that if the bill is passed, he will assent to it. If you all recall, during Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's reign, the LGBTQ bill was passed by our parliamentarians. It was sponsored by private sponsorship. So we eventually had Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill was passed in February 28, 2024. The Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill was passed on February 28, 2024 by our parliamentarians for His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo to assent to it, but he refused to assent to the bill with the explanation or excuse that someone has filed a legal suit against the bill in Supreme Court. As a result of that, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo could not assent to the bill. People felt that, look, it was a deliberate attempt on the part of His Excellency the former president and the MPP regime, because prior to the discussion, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has not clearly demonstrated his support for the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill. So people criticized him. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo failed till his term came to an end. Now, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, people of the view there in cover fast track das trumutu billy ama oye imreshebe gone to majatum because no ya no hoba or the boy. It was a promise that he promised the people, but his recent statement when he met the civil society organizations ama wobisa his stand za already offer them Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill ni ya no zimane amma manfasha se rekasa. And as a result of that, we have decided to bring you this presentation, and we have titled it Some Judge Why the LGBTQI plus Silence. Is President Mahama running away from LGBTQI plus bill pledge. We have decided to title today's presentation as Sam George, why the LGBTQI plus bill silence. Is President Mahama running away from LGBTQI plus bill pledge? This is what we are bringing to you. Let's listen to Sam George and the president.
Mahama has been clear that he will sign that bill, and he has no option than to sign that bill. President Mahama will know no peace from Sam George until he signs that bill. He has been clear that he will sign that bill, and he has no option than to sign that bill. President Mahama will know no peace from Sam George until he signs that bill. And he himself has said that to the clergy, that as a Christian, as a member of the Assemblies of God Church, he will sign that bill.
A few moments later.
Regarding LGBTQ plus issues, it remains a highly emotive and sensitive issue, even in the most advanced liberal democracies. I explained during my recent engagement with the World Affairs Council that it's not the most important issue we face as a nation. We're still grappling with the provisions of basic needs of education, healthcare, jobs, food, clothing, and shelter.
Mahama has been clear that he will sign that bill, and he has no option than to sign that bill. President Mahama will know no peace from Sam George until he signs that bill. And he himself has said that to the clergy, that as a Christian, as a member of the Assemblies of God Church, he will sign that bill.
A few moments later.
Regarding LGBTQ plus issues, it remains a highly emotive and sensitive issue, even in the most advanced liberal democracies. I explained during my recent engagement with the World Affairs Council that it's not the most important issue we face as a nation. We're still grappling with the provisions of basic needs of education, healthcare, jobs, food, clothing, and shelter.
Yati Asama Oye Ura Sam George okay, and His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Let truths be told. In the run-up to 2024 campaigning, Sayaka, one of those personalities who was so strong, whose advocacy was so strong as far as the legalization of LGBTQI plus activities is concerned in this country, is Sam Nate George, the member of parliament for Pram Pram Ningo. The member of parliament for Ningo Pram Pram was one of the 8 parliamentarians who sponsored this human sexual right bill. Waye biara ye wakasai of the pressure they took His Excellency the former president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Bawumia MPP-led administration. So you can one of the personalities one man Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo a breathing space na oye Sam George. Sam George advocacy concerning or against the legalization of LGBTQI activities in the country was at its crescendo, was very, very high on the agenda. And especially those who were against it supported all the move that Sam George was championing. But in the recent response by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has sparked a national debate, and the bitter truth we want to place on record, one of the personalities that we want to hear, would have loved to hear his stand, his voice, his response to what His Excellency the President said, the response he gave, and especially at the time that the Lincoln University had announced that they will give His Excellency John Dramani Mahama an honorary degree, but they withdrew that award because they felt that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is against the activities of LGBTQI community, to the admiration that a lot of Ghanaians and Africans continue to praise His Excellency John Dramani Mahama that yes, even though Lincoln University might have withdrawn their honorary degree that they had earlier announced to be given to you, but don't be deterred, don't worry. But his recent response to the members of CSOs was a bit disappointing. It has generated a national debate, and the bitter truth, the question we are asking, where is Sam George? Why the silence on the part of Sam George that he is not speaking? Because he promised the people of this country that if His Excellency John Dramani Mahama fail to assent to it, he will have no peace. Yes, the bill is in what? Parliament. They have not passed it because the 8 parliaments came to an end. But if you look at how John Dramani Mahama campaigned, how Sam George was so vociferous, lifted that advocacy, the LGBTQI advocacy in the country, and took it to the international community. People were expecting that by now it should have been one of the bill. If we are talking about achievement of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Nanka Okahun. Let's listen to the president.
Nevertheless, the private members' bill introduced in Parliament has sparked a complex and sensitive national conversation. Our position is guided by our Constitution, respect for human rights and dignity of all persons, and the need to preserve social cohesion. While there are strong and differing views within our society, we believe that these issues must be addressed through democratic processes, our core values, dialogue, and the rule of law. Nevertheless, the private members' bill introduced in Parliament has sparked a complex and sensitive national conversation. Our position is guided by our Constitution, respect for human rights and dignity of all persons, and the need to preserve social cohesion. While there are strong and differing views within our society, we believe that these issues must be addressed through democratic processes, our core values, dialogue, and the rule of law.
Ati, what His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has said, that there are other pressing needs for the country, and it is not about the LGBTQI plus bill issue. As it has started or generated a talk in the international community, a lot more needs to be done. Discussion needs to be done. Now, someone calling Yebisa or Mampenyin John Dramani Mahama there. At the time of opposition, no Rekasa, or Shabo, no Shade, former President Nana Adudankwa Akufo-Addo went to Manfanisa and share oye in Brenna Senin. The metamine in summer no Orakadoya pressing needs in Nana Adudankwa Akufo-Addo na bidon on those pressing needs in you ana. The religious communities Ghana Fududu ana wajini tum osande na wa shabode oba obahwede wodibedi djuma se emrehye gwanenen wo passa obodu ni nchena oba sent to it ordinance abashase. Yes, there are a number of bills obey ordinance ashase Ghana for bonabado. At a point during campaign no there, even if the need be for the state to sponsor the bill so that it does no longer remain as a private sponsorship bill in it, his government will do it. What has changed? His response now, one people are talking, and this is the reason we are asking why Sam George has remained silent. What is his position? Political hypocrisy, political sycophancy. We need Ghana deserve political honesty. We need politicians with honest and integrity. we need politicians wo bu what's in the crazy what's the bu zibaya manyasam wo oman Ghana mu ono na yere hwehwe yenti
I was a nipa de o ma you eye wo pe abanja no a wo metwa ntro na o ma promises a wo ani se mfiri wakoma na mfa me dada asofo mfa me dada hemfo mfa me dada imamfo mfa me dada brantie no bia ewie ne de tumini se won sase wo e na wo ba bebo LGBT mu ban wo na so ba be semre mu odene ne deal with LGBT asofo gina ho e bonsem pra de ma esa ma okoto ebu nkotodwe hwie oye bompa ye bobo tons akese gu so san komo pulpit so ko preach the tia ban no so esise nkom de ma mo aba beye president uwi ye no enne less than 2 years or just a year and a little over a year and 3 months no utumi be hwe san so fu we ni manim ahemfu ye nim Ghana fu ye nim atumi ka kire wo mo se enne ye wo bread and butter issues ye basic needs ye wo adwuma sem a yen kan wiye ye wo health sem a yen kan wiye ye wo mesian sem a yen kan wiye ntino LGBT nimpo de e ya de a en kan priorities ho kra e low in our priority o kan sa a big betrayal of trust a betrayal kese pa na da kese scam kese a any so for imam for any him for the check any so CSOs the check any so Ghana for bunitra a major deception any so CSOs the check any so Ghana for bunitra a major deception a one for obuoni any dia Ghana for to the man no so we o man so there's not a reverend or Dr. Opuni Ekano. As all you at all times, whether you are in opposition or you are in power. It is who opposition. Now my major promise. In fact, Sabreno, my party was in power. So okay, now I was a deputy minister for education. But the me fee say me Bible mu, na wo mama me come him fear de my him for catch me. And me come in person so the person so for catch me as a society dey o mo hia asem na Bible so e man ye tiwade no me gina mu best can ye semra mu odene me gina mu bi at the time na nyoma ye se ehun se de ekon. I was one of the first people ye kasa ye de betia mpeninfo de betia hwan de ye kan ni nyina okromu ha nne wo na wo so ye sofo Sabre yes of Pons original ye ma Presekufa ultimatum sebe na are humbo penny for to me ma Presekufa ultimatum man order by 2 weeks time you must do this no one sign BBC say no man ultimatum so ya kwake to be asebe ote omo enchen eku school nanso ni nyina mu no President Akufo-Addo anko kan ba bia da say LGBT and your priority mano. Hey, imagine like a President Akufo-Addo ko jina baby can say LGBT and yes some here crying a low on his priority list. The country say OHENEBA na kesi Ghana ha. Enka a man for better to suko kwa no press conference demonstrations ahodo and sorry sorry kasetia one kind example no hwe de omde ye no I was say nipa de o ma you eye you
Isa ati za oye intim fodio oroka ayi no konwenwen jumedi yenyi oye John intim fodio a member of parliament for Asen South yenyi ne yadwen as one of the sponsors of the bill yenyi oye intim fodio yadwen zoro kekani nyinara ose ofata ozika. Let truth be told, this platform, the bitter truth. For this one, we in agreement with Intim Fodio, the member of parliament representing the people of Asen South, and as one of the sponsors of the bill, his stand hasn't changed. And thus, let's place on record that the bitter truth, we agree with him. The stand that he has taken, all that he has said, Prior to the election campaign, there were a lot of things that His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama said in an opposition concerning the LGBTQI activities in the country. At least fair-minded and objective-minded Ghanaians were expecting that the number of bills that His Excellency has assented to, this bill, the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill, will be one of the bills that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama might have assented to, so that when we are counting his achievements, but unfortunately, sadly, that cannot be said. Let truth be told. Messi, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama's response, his recent response to the CSO Senenen, is in bad taste. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is an experienced communicator, and I believe he could have done better than the response he gave. Let truth be told. Truth is bitter. It must be told. Listen to.
Ni pechan hweshani gidia wamagana fwenya wonumu betu abanu na ete se me de sa na meti ase se manti ase ye tie fo mfa ncheme se na nado nya ono de oba obeye MPP fo no eni NDC fo ye betu abanu sa na de no ko gire se MPP fo no na nya na nado na onsan a NDC any year Mahama ba one would ye Sadiana and a parliament aye no on na so pen I ready in fact who read the reporter Munianu be ne pen in the ink aye ready ain't ye sano say ye mo say ye brofo na ye kan ye de enya brofo na ye kan. We are talking about values. Conduct and behavior must also attract national interest. Family values must also attract national priority. Yes, Reye, Nenumwa Semunti, Dacia Semunti, Tenya Topos, Tenya Mosum, baby a priority nation on financial. So that's a parliament to me, real process now. Sanya not send okay, say parliament if you near the betun anymore. On hesitate. On a hot diamond, nti brofo kwa kana bontene de yate ne ye de ye ka afisem nteso a wate ato fom no fabio yewura mfa wo techre man
sa ate asama Dr. Reverend Opuni Frimpong waka reminded His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and Ghanaians the promise that he made when he was in an opposition as far as Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill is concerned. That against the legalization of LGBTQ activities in Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama made a lot of promise. He made it clear to the good people of Ghana there he doesn't support, because our values, our norms does not accept activities of LGBTQI members in our society, and he stands firmly behind our values and norms. Let's say His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama, your response to the LGBTQI question when you make the civil society it smacks dishonesty. You are too intelligent, you could have done better, and we want to see, because you told Ghanaians that even if it becomes necessary for the state to sponsor the bill, your government will not hesitate to do so. What has changed? That the agency with which you should have engaged parliamentary, and most especially now that your party has majority in parliament, Ghanaians do not see the passage of this bill the passage of the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill to be a challenge, if indeed it's a priority for your government, this bill should have been passed by now, and it should have been part of the achievement of your government. Let truth be told. Truth is bitter. We must speak truth. Remember, the show you are watching is The Bitter Truth. If today is the first time that you are watching the show, kindly subscribe to the Ghana Bandits YouTube channel. Most importantly for us, drop your views, comments, suggestions in the comment section. Thank you for using your data and time to watch this show. Remember, it is The Bitter Truth. We say goodbye.